manifest the same Paramashivatva in our lives continuously. And from that space, so much more is possible, so much more manifests. So this particular Mahalaya Amavasya, Swamiji says something beautiful about this particular Paksha, which is coming to an end. So in this waning phase of the moon, in this particular month in the year, we will see that the Pitrus, the ancestors, are readily available. Like their frequency is the same as our frequency. So our consciousness and our existence is existing at a particular frequency. The same frequency is the same frequency at which the Pitrus or ancestors are available. So you can say they're very much in the air. Now, the duty that we have to our ancestors, we are sometimes even, maybe even neglect or may not have taught these things from our family or others. But Swamiji is reviving this wonderful tradition for us to attend to those who are our loved ones, who are the departed souls, bringing complete completion to them, bringing them to finally go to the highest abode of Kailasa. Now, one more beautiful thing that Swamiji shares is that the ancestors are connected to us, to our DNA. And when we have them in Kailasa, when we have, they are there, they are liberated. Of course, they exist still. When we are also vibrating in the space of Kailasa, in the space of oneness with Paramashiva, and just operating from there, the more and more we do this, the more and more we'll see the best of the best that the ancestors have had will start expressing from us. We would have had an enlightened past ancestor. We would have had a very healthy one or optimal, they are connected to us through our very DNA. So the best of the best expressions can also start happening inside of us. And those possibilities are what we awaken ourselves up to when we continuously offer these Maheshwara Pujas or continuously connect with Swamiji and pray that all of them reach their highest. All of us have, in some way or the other, and leads to a very enlightened past. In some way or the other, there have to be some enlightened beings, some Mahapurushas in our ancestry. The best of the best from them will start expressing from this, and they will also be set forth on the path towards enlightenment, towards living with Paramashiva in Kailasa. So the Maheshwara Puja, now we're going to be offering the Maheshwara Puja. In fact, the beautiful thing is, of the 9 forms of Paramashiva, Maheshwara is supposed to be happening at the time of the Bhoga Kala, at the time of sustenance. And beautifully, all of the Shiva forms, they are known, the Shiva forms that you see during the festivals, they are known as Maheshwara Beram. They are the Maheshwaram. Means they come to sustain the whole cosmos. They come to provide the abundance and share to the world and maintain the world. So that is the Maheshwara. That is his quality. In the same way, we have the Maheshwara Puja, where Paramashiva is blesses us in the form of the sadhus or the sannyasis. It is said that whenever Maheshwara Puja happens, Paramashiva himself comes in the form of a sadhu and partakes the food. And it is actually one of the oldest festivals you'll ever see in the world. The oldest festivals is feeding, Maheshwara Puja, sharing the food. And in this way also, we all carry the element of Agni. And it is a part of the Hindu Dharma that we must continuously worship the Agni. If you have taken the Shiva Diksha, you have the right to worship the Shivagni, in fact. And worshipping the Shivagni is a part of our Dharma. It's a part, we have a right because we have been initiated from Swamiji to worship the fire itself as Agni. So what is fire? Fire is the ever purifying elements. It's the element, it's the median element, that is from the physical into the metaphysical, right? It is that which we use as medium to connect with the whole cosmos. So it is a median element. Fire is also ever purifying. That is why the sannyasis wear the orange cloth that represents fire, always rejuvenating and purifying oneself. And that's the principle we live with as a sannyasi. So the sannyasi is also said to be the person who has already experienced death. So they have that, been given that muscle memory and biomemory to be able to understand and give the correct understanding also about the truth of the reincarnation. What happens after life? What happens after death? Today we're going to also be leading all of you into the understanding of the 15th chapter of the Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. It's a beautiful chapter where Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks about what happens after you pass away, but he instills the ultimate truth of Purusha. Hence, this chapter is known as the Purushottama Yoga. It is known as the Purushottama Yoga. The 15th chapter, the chapter that describes the Supreme Being, the Purushottama. And it has so many wonderful verses inside of it that describe how this world is immaterial. There is 2 aspects to the world, the perishable and the imperishable, and there is a Purusha himself. It gives you an understanding about what is the self. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashrita Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachanyannam Chaturvidham. Tells, I am the fire of the digestion living in every body. I am the breath of life, exhaled and inhaled, with which I digest the food. And a beautiful verse he says here that Swamiji quotes again and again. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanamapohanam cha vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo vedantagrid veda videva chaham. Means, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me came memory, knowledge, and the loss of the memory and the knowledge. I am known as the Vedas. Indeed, I am the creator of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. He says very clearly, as Purushottama, I exist in everyone's heart. Beautifully, these verses are the Swamiji says, even if you read the Bhagavad Gita decoded, you'll understand how Swamiji says these verses, just by listening to them, will program your causal layer. Right? When you program your causal layer with powerful completion, things will simply manifest. Our causal layer is the layer of our consciousness, which we really take the rest in, where we take a break from the physical and the dream state, and we really are in a the causal layer is where we're in the deep sleep. So when we're in the causal layer, at those times we have to be in the deep rest. And this particular chapter, the mantras themselves, reprogram the causal layer with powerful completion. So that is why it's chanted every time. Everyone, after this, please take a point to read the 15th chapter, the mantras, as well as the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, decode it and share it with all of your loved ones and your family members, because it gives you the profound truth about what is a human, what is the world, and what is Ishvara, what is the Purushottama. And these verses are so profound. He says, Dvavimo Purusho Loke Ksharakshaksharaya. There are two things, the perishable and the imperishable in this world. There are the living beings who are perishable, while there is the unchangeable, the imperishable. Okay, so the imperishable is something we are all knowing. We want to experience that as a reality in our life. And the more we find ourselves connecting with the imperishable, the more and the more we are able to find out that there is something guiding force. That is Paramashiva, that is Swamiji, taking care of many things that we think are impossible to even attend to. That is the imperishable. How many of you know that is Swamiji in your life? Yes? Great. So then let's celebrate that today. Today we celebrate. We have Swamiji, we celebrate that Swamiji is there as a part of our lives, taking care of so many things, including those things that are unknown to us. But slowly, they'll become known, and we'll see their blessings manifest in our lives. When he comes and blesses us, we'll see how he says, that you are the Amritasya Putraha, you are the sons and daughters of immortality. He says beautifully, Yoma me mama sammudho janati purushottamam sasarva vidbhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. He says, whoever knows me as the Supreme without a doubt is to be understood as the knower of everything, and he worships me with all his being, O son of Bharata. Guhyatamam shastram idam muktam maya nagha etad buddhva buddhiman syat kritakrityascha Bharata. He says, this is the most profound teaching taught by me, O sinless one. Whoever knows this will become wise, and his actions will bear fruit. So the 15th chapter is knowledge, something very sacred. In fact, in sannyasi monasteries, what we do is, in the sovereign order of Kailasa, what we do is, every time a meal is taken, we chant the 15th chapter. Because before you take the bhoga, the physical food, when you establish yourself in Brahman, right? When you establish yourself as oneness as Paramashiva and then attend to the bhoga, it is the highest space to attend to the bhoga. All of the parasitical patterns, all of the unwanted tendencies, all of them will melt away when you establish yourself in this beautiful space that happens when you chant the Purushottama Yoga. So the Purushottama Yoga is the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We'll be chanting that in today's Maheshwara Puja. And you can all listen along. We'll be reciting the meaning as well. So you can also follow along and resonate with the meaning and imbibe it. And if you all have your Bhagavad Gita books, go ahead and have that 15th chapter open. And you can open to the last pages that have the 15th chapter verses. Yes. Now, without further ado, let's begin the Maheshwara Puja. Let's all first be seated in a deep space of feeling connection and oneness. Celebrate today that Swamiji is going to help us and heal us. See, one more point is there. Swamiji tells those people who have left us or who have passed on, there is a part of them that exists inside of us that needs the completion, that needs to be put into the higher context, that needs to have the maturity. That is going to be healed today through the Maheshwara Puja. There's a component of them that is there within us that needs to be raised, that will be healed today in the Maheshwara Puja. So, before we begin, we have a beautiful, exclusive few words that Swamiji had told about Maheshwara Puja in the Nityananda program during the when we were doing the program. Swamiji was teaching everyone about Maheshwara Puja in Phuket, Thailand. So, and if you're all there, you'll have, some of you were there, yes, and you'll have the beautiful memories of that event. So it's a very rare footage that is we wanted to show everyone, where Swamiji answers the common questions about Maheshwara Puja, and there's a little bit of footage also about Maheshwara Puja. You can take a look at that. So let's get into this video and just take it as a beautiful time, as a oneness capsule, and imbibe Swamiji's very body language, and just the grace with which he takes care of all of the Maheshwara Puja participants. So the same space, let's watch the Maheshwara Puja video.
Few things you guys can learn from this whole Maheshwara Puja. One is, always the enlightened masters were made to beg from people. Why? Only then they will be continuously in touch with people. No, really. Otherwise, I have nothing to gain from you. Why will I bother? I'll just be there wherever, and you come, go. So that is why the tradition says no. For every meal you have to be with people. That's why Buddha made begging as mandatory. Even in Shaivite tradition, means our Hindu tradition, begging is mandatory. Nowadays, for various practical, impractical reasons, we beg once in a while. That also in the internet. So the principle is that food which is begged from all of you, it has to be muted. means the taste mutation. By mixing everything, the taste has to be muted. So that you will not eat for tongue. The person who eats should not be eating for the tongue, should be eating for the stomach. If the taste mutation is done, you will never overeat. That's the second principle. You will see now I'll mix the whole thing, sweet, spicy, everything. I'll mix it together. That's called taste mutation. Once the taste is muted, you will not be able to eat for your tongue. You see, all overeating is because the tongue tastes, not for stomach. Stomach never overeats. Tongue overeats. So when the mutation is done, you will never overeat. You will never have the problems of overeating. Overeating means that is where everything starts, including death. Overeating is the symptom for death. Because that is where the cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure, overweight, everything starts from overeating. So, and then food is served to all the sannyasis, monks. See, always the new ones get left out. That is why the tradition says that seniors will receive first, but juniors will eat first. Seniors will receive first from my hand, but they have to feed the juniors first. It's a clear methodology of keeping the whole monastic tradition alive. And after feeding the junior most only you can eat. And after eating, they will be given the dakshina, pranami, money. The rule is anybody who is junior has to touch all their seniors' feet. See, the thing is, in the monastery, somebody may be very brilliant, intelligent, smart. He may be junior. He will be having a high power position in the organization, but that does not matter here. Here the power position you are holding doesn't matter. You will see Sri Mahans touching the feet of the junior sannyasis here. Because she is the junior most Swami. So here the sannyas matters, not the power position you hold. So in one place where they drop all their incompletions, because when you live together always there will be incompletions. Dropping everything. So there will always be problem. Who should drop first? So standard rule. Junior drops first. So that see, it is actually never, incompletion itself is not a problem. Who should drop first is always the problem. If you drop, I'll drop. If you drop, I'll drop. That who should drop first is attended in this whole Maheshwara Puja. It's a very beautiful, intimate ritual of completing with your ancestors and keeping the whole sannyas tradition alive. It's from, I am explaining it from the insider's view, how it is keeping the sannyas tradition alive. And from the external, a devotee's perspective, as Sadashiva, I personally accept your offering and personal seva. Digest so much. Not only you, your generations' karmas are digested. It's time. So, let's now go and start the Maheshwara Puja.
Nityananda.
Go ahead, ma.
Swamiji, I just wanted to share something. This is not a question, but I actually went to Badrinath to Brahmakapala to do the Shraddha, to do the Pinda Tarpana for my ancestors a few years ago. They told me I cannot do it because I'm a female, and you have to be a male, and you have to be the eldest son in the family. So they have a lot of restrictions. So it's not very easy to do those, and I think the Maheshwara Puja, it's just we sit right here and it just happens. We don't have to worry about, and nowadays the roads are not even accessible very easily to these places.
No, not only that, you see, listen, in that rituals, in the 13, anything related to the dana women can do, like a godana, budana, swarnadana, vastradana, annadana and all. Rituals, basically women are not allowed to do in the later days of Hinduism. The post-Shankara time, the all rituals were banned for women. That is the reason this rule came. Okay. But originally in the Upanishads and Vedic period, there are records, women doing Shraddha and even last rites. There are tons and tons of records and enough of records. And even the Shraddha mantra, in Shraddha mantra, where the priest asks the person who is giving Shraddha to hold the rice and the til, he addresses male and female. Please understand, he addresses masculine and feminine. And there are at least few places we have enough references and enough of evidence where women were asked to give Shraddha and participate in the rituals. Now what you are saying that in Badri it is not happening is just the recent times, maybe last 600, 700 years, the male chauvinistic. That is the reason the Shraddha was stopped for women. You guys take this reference and go and do Shraddha in Badri and tell them, my Guru is Mahamandaleshwar, he has given this reference. You tell whether this sutra is right or wrong.
Yes, Swamiji.
Is this sutra original? Is this mantra original?
Yes.
He says, yes, it is original. Then allow me to do Shraddha. That's all.
Yes.
Swamiji, Pitru Doshat Kaga Pandra Puja, Maheshwara Puja is the same?
Yes, it is one and the same.
Swamiji, what if we don't have any photos or any birth time?
No, I cannot do Maheshwara Puja. You have to have either birth chart or the photo. Without that, I won't be able to offer.
Swamiji,
go ahead.
While in Kailash, with you, we paid the tarpana, whatever.
Then I think that's enough.
That's enough. Second is, when you say they will be relieved of all the, after the Maheshwara Puja, relieved of all the karmas. I thought it's only the incompletion.
All your karmas are actually incompletion.
Even the past life?
Yes.
Okay.
Even the need for breathing is an incompletion.
No, but my question is this. In the present life, there are the incompletions, let's say. But the karma is also from the previous life with somebody else.
In the past life incompletions only, you bring it as a karma in the present life also.
With the same soul?
May not be same souls, but the carrier is the same soul. Na? See, for example, past life you would have had a fight with your husband. This life you may be having a fight with your wife. But the pattern is same as far as the recording inside as a karma.
Right, but it's like my father. I might have incompletions which I took care of in Kailash.
That's all, that's enough.
Right, but his previous Jalma, what happens to that?
I say, when in the Kailash, when we gave Shraddha and all, whatever is other baggage he has, that also will melt down because we have given it in an elaborate way. Don't worry.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji,
You said 13 days, within 13 days, if you give do Shraddha, the soul which is born will get released of all the karmas. And suppose he has taken another birth, and within that 13 days, if we do the Maheshwara Puja, he will, in another body, he will get enlightened and leave the body as well, or?
No, he will leave the body and he will not have karma. He will not take another one body, which means enlightenment.
Okay, but that life,
No, that body which he has taken itself will be dead.
okay.
The child will be dead within maybe 4 or 5 days.
Even if it's a healthy baby, the moment you have done your Maheshwar Puja,
So, the milk he drank, he will digest for 3 or 4 days and that's all.
How about the incompletion that the parents have towards the
Each soul is an individual soul and their journey matters. They will have another one kid, that's all. The individual soul's journey is more important than any relationship related thing. That comes as first priority. Second only this.
Swami, ஒரு சின்ன சந்தேகங்க. What happens if the 13 days passes away?
If the 13 days is passed, I won't be able to liberate that child immediately. The further accumulation of the karma and the incompletions can be reduced. Life will be better without the influence of this load. That's all. But immediately the child cannot be liberated and all.
So if something happens, we have to do it within 13 days.
Soul will leave the body. It will not take one more birth. I'll cut the U-Haul service. Not only that, even if in the road when I am traveling, if a dead body is being taken, that's all. Anything falls into my breathing space, even without knowledge, by accident, means when I am driving, there is an accident in the road and the body is still there, means over. That fellow is liberated. He can't have one more body. Because the U-Haul service will be disconnected. My breathing space is such, all U-Haul service will be disconnected. Means the karma carrying umbilical cord will be disconnected.
So
that cannot survive in my breathing space.
So Swamiji, all the bodies that when we are sitting in Manikarnika Ghat,
Whole thing is liberated. Whole thing is liberated. Yes. All these fellows are liberated.
at least 40-50 were there.
More than that.
Swamiji, when I was in Hardwar, there was a sadhu who was on the bridge, and I put some money under his coat, or his blanket, and I realized that night that he was dying. So I went back the next day, and I checked on him, and he was almost dead. And when I put the mala, I took off my mala, and I put it on the top of his head. He shuddered, and he died.
It is good. It means you liberated him. You helped him to free. You put him in connection with me before he was dead. That's good. Go ahead.
Swamiji, you said the souls, even as long they're in their breathing space, they get liberated. So does that mean it only can happen in your physical presence around your breathing space?
No. In my physical presence happens. When I connect with them also, that they become part of my physical presence.
Okay. So Swamiji, let's say we have a deity which has been done prana pratishtha or your paduka which represents your presence there. So if
that will not be able to have such a strong radiation over a human being because that being has to connect with it.
Okay.
In my case, he doesn't need to connect. I myself can be actively involved in it. A deity will not actively involve. It will only wait passively and whoever comes will be gracing. The Markandeya was active. So that person who is dying, if the person is active, the deity can do the job. Go ahead.
You're live. Nityanandam? Yes, we'll now enter into this Maheshwara Puja With the divine grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam. On this auspicious day of Mahalaya Amavasya, a few devotees are offering the Maheshwara Puja at the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, requesting all the monastic members of the Nityananda order to please sit with your head, neck and spine in a straight line and bring your awareness to the Ananda Gandha. Now requesting the listening of the Maheshwara Puja participants. Kindly have authentic listening to the truths behind the Maheshwara Puja, and if you authentically cognize which is internally processed, understand and respond that you agree to the truths behind the Maheshwara Puja, which will be told now. If you agree, please say yes loudly at the end of each declaration. The truth behind the Maheshwara Puja is that I authentically cognize, which is internally process, understand, and declare the truth that cosmic energy exists. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally process, understand, and declare the truth that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, is the Chinmaya Vigraha, the embodiment and representation of that very cosmic energy. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally process, understand, and declare the truth that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, is a pure channel for complete completion to be achieved for all the departed souls and for completion to be achieved for all the participants with the departed souls. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally process, understand, and declare the truth that during the Maheshwara Puja, all the monastic members of the Nityananda order become a pure channel for complete completion to be achieved for all the departed souls and for completion to be achieved for all the participants with the departed souls. Yes. I authentically cognize, which is internally process, understand, and declare the truth that offering the Maheshwara Puja will bestow complete completion for all the departed souls whose photo or horoscope is mentioned here, and completion will be bestowed on all the Maheshwara Puja participants with the departed souls for whom they are offering Maheshwara Puja here today. Yes. We'll now begin the rituals of the Maheshwara Puja. We'll begin with the Sadguru Vandanam. नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिव समारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति मध्यमां नित्यानन्दपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां ललाटे त्रिपुण्ड्री नितिलधृतकस्तूरी तिलकः स्फुरन्मालाधारस्फुरितकटिकौपीनवसनः दधानो दुष्टारं शिरसि फणिराजं शशिकलां प्रदीपः सर्वेषां मरुणगिरियोगी विजयते. We'll now chant the Sankalpa mantra, the conscious resolution. Please have in your inner space the request and prayer for all the auspicious blessings from Swamiji. Mamopatta samasta duritakshay dvara भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परम शिव प्रीत्यर्थम अद्य पूर्वोक्ता एवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायाम अस्याम शुभतिथौ धनुर्राशौ जातायाः सोना कामत्नाम्याः विनय कामत्नामधेयस्य एहान कामत्नामधेयस्य हंस कामत्नामधेयस्य अवन कामत्नामधेयस्य कोको नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य मा नित्य गोविंद प्रिया नाम याः सकुटुम्बस्य मा नित्य प्रेमयानंदा नाम याः श्री नित्य चिदंबरानंदा नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य अश्विनी नक्षत्रे मेषराशौ जातस्य अरुण शिवाजी नामधेयस्य नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य आरुद्रा नक्षत्रे मिथुनराशौ जातस्य पुन्नुदुरै शिवाजी नामधेयस्य आरुद्रा नक्षत्रे मिथुनराशौ जातस्य निर्मला शिवाजी नाम याः पूसम नक्षत्रे कडकराशौ जातस्य वैकुण्ठन्नामधेयस्य एल्यं नक्षत्रे कटकराशो जातायाः मञ्जुलानां याः सदयं नक्षत्रे कुम्भराशो जातस्य कृष्णानामधेयस्य कुटुम्बस्य शीघ्रू नाम यधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य वैहङ्मिङ् नामधेयस्य वैहान्की नाम याः वैयिषिङ् नाम याः वैशिन्रुन् नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य हेमवती उमामहेश्वर मां परमशिवशक्ति नाम याः शक्ति नाम याः प्रणव नाम अधेयस्य विनु नामधेयस्य एली नामधेयस्य बेलिंदा नाम याः चांदिनी नाम याः सकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य मृगशीर्षा नक्षत्रे किनतिंकर कृष्णमोहन नामधेयस्य अस्ता नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातस्य किनतिंकर बालचंद्रमेनन् नामधेयस्य किनतिंकर रविमेनन् नामधेयस्य उत्तरम नक्षत्रे जातायाः किनतिंकर लक्ष्मीमेनन् नाम याः सकुटुम्बस्य नवलीकलतिल रमणन् मनन्नामधेयस्य पोट्टयिल सरोजिनी अम्मा नाम याः यद्यंकर कंदनकोट्टे नारायण नंबियार नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य रवि मठवल्लम नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य आरुद्रा नक्षत्रे मिथुनराशो जातस्य आंगिरस गोत्रोद्भवस्य कमल किशोर शर्मा नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य क्लोई रांडो नाम याः जिनेट रांडो नाम याः माइकल रांडो नामधेयस्य ट्रिस्टन रांडो नामधेयस्य सोफी रांडो नाम याः लोकी नाम रांडो नाम अधेयस्य बाप्टिस्टे रांडो नामधेयस्य आंड्रे रांडो नाम याः गाय जॉली नामधेयस्य कैरिने जॉली नाम याः वेरोनिका जॉली नाम याः कैरोलिन जॉली नाम याः नाटली पिरोन नाम याः एंजली दोसे नाम याः क्लेमेंस दोसेट नाम याः आंड्रे पिरोन नाम अधेयस्य जैक्लिन पिरोन नाम याः लुद्वियन पिरोन नाम याः एंटोनी पिरोन नाम अधेयस्य एलियने सरजिन नाम याः जीन क्लॉड कोरुलोन नामधेयस्य गाय डेस्प्लैट्स नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य ज़ियाओहांग नाम याः झी ज़ियाओहान नामधेयस्य ज़ियाओयांग किंग नामधेयस्य ज़ियाओज़ांग वांग नामधेयस्य ओयांग फेंग नाम याः ज़ियाओकी यंग नाम याः ज़ियाओकी वे नाम याः ज़ियाओयू नाम याः सकुटुम्बस्य धनुर्राशो जातायाः सोना कामत नाम याः विनय कामत नामधेयस्य एहन कामत नामधेयस्य हंस कामत नामधेयस्य एवन कामत नामधेयस्य कोको नाम याः सकुटुम्बस्य च ब्रह्मकपाल विष्णुपाद कालभैरवपुस्वरूप Shri Kailasonnatadvadashanta Shyamala Pitaruda Shri Meenakshi Sundareshwara Bhinnaswarupa Parashivaputra Ratnakumara Gurumanya Tulyavatara Shri Parvati Stanyapanalabdha Divyajnana Vishruta Sakala Nigama Gamasara Bhuta Dravida Veda Pravaktre Shrimad Paramashiva Karuna Samadhigata Muktamaya Chaturashrayana Giyamana Chatra Chamara Shri Chinhakahaladi Samasta Birada Valyalankrita Jnana Vijnana Chakravarti Sarva Janasanga Satyo Nirvana Diksha Vyayapa Varga Varsha Vishrana Jimuta Paramata Kalabha Kesari Shaiva Siddhanta Stapanacharya Shri Rajadi Rajapanya Maharaja Guru Kshabana Shakhyadi Mahandakara Nivarana Jnana Bhanu वीक्षणानर्हारद्वदोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद् वृषभध्वजस्थापक शैव समय कर्तृ सर्वज्ञपीठारूढ़ श्री जगद्गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामिनाम अवतारभूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ तृणवत्युत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधान अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञ पीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्य मंगल नित्य कल्याण नित्य रजित कैलास परंपरागत आदि कैलास नित्यानंद पीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासन पीठ कर्तृ साक्षात् श्री परम शिव समुद्भूत कैलास परंपरागत वैवस्वत मनु इक्ष्वाकु हरिश्चंद्र भगीरथ श्रीरामचंद्र शूरसेन इत्याद्य नवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ती परंपरागत चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मंडित चतुष्षष्टि संप्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्म शासन सूर्य वंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञ पीठ सुरांगी साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूड़ामणि साक्षात् श्री परम शिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणी पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामंडलेश्वर साक्षात् श्री परम शिव समुद्भूत श्री महागणपति समारंभ नवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वर धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्ग पुरस्वर्ण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगद्गुरु श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य श्रीमद् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूप श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठा श्रीमद् जगद्गुरु श्रील श्री भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिनां प्रीत्यर्थम पूर्वोक्तानां सर्वेषां जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थम एतेषां दिवंगतु बन्धुमित्रवर्गाणां विदेह मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थं च परमशिव स्वरूप भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव मुखेन महेश्वर पूजाख्य कर्म करिष्ये. We'll now chant the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Purushottama Yoga. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिनां मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. अतः पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः. श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाकम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्थं वेद स वेदवित्. Shri Bhagavan says, the imperishable banyan tree of life, symbolized by the Ashwatha, has its roots above with the leaves and branches spreading below the earth. The leaves are said to be the Vedic hymns. One who knows this eternal tree becomes the knower of the Vedas. Adhaschordhvam prasritastasya shakha guna pravriddha vrishayah pravalaha adhasya mulyanyanusantathani karmanubandhini manushya-loke. The branches of this tree extend below and above the earth, nourished by the three human attributes guna. Its buds are the sense objects. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound by the resultant actions of humans. Narupamasye tatatopalabhyate nanto na chadir cha sampratishtha ashvatthamenam suvirudamulam ashanga shastrena dhridena chitva. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyaha tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah pravritti prashrutat purani. One must then seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and surrender to the Supreme Being from whom all activities started from the ancient times. Nirmana moha jita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvandver vimukta sukha dukha sangyer gacchantya mudaf padamavyayam tat. Those who are free from pride, delusion and attachment, those who dwell in the self, who are done with lust, who are free from the dualities of joy and sorrow, not confused, and those who know how to surrender to the Supreme Person, attain the eternal consciousness. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. That supreme space of eternal consciousness, mind consciousness, is not illumined by the sun, nor by the moon, nor by fire. Those who enter that space never return to this material world. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhutas sanatanaha manashyasdhanindriyani prakritistani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned material world are a portion of my eternal self. In this conditioned material world, they are attracted by the six senses, which include the mind dwelling in Prakriti, the active energy principle. Shariram yadavapnoti yachatyukramati ishvaraha grihitva etani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat. The spirit in the mind body living in this material world moves from one body to another, carrying these just as air carries aroma. Shrotram chakshusparshanam cha rasanam ghranameva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. The living entity, the spirit, leaves one body, takes some other body, and gets new eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and sensing body according to the samskaras it had in its causal layer, and enjoys the new mental setup. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam vagunanvitam vimudhananu paschanti jnana chakshushaha. Fools in ignorance do not perceive the spirit, being united with the gunas as it enters, enjoys, and leaves the body. One whose inner eye is open clearly perceives everything. Yatanto yoginas chainam paschyantyatmanyavasthitam yatanto prakritatmano nainam paschantyatetasaha. The serious practitioner of yoga with an understanding of his self can see all this clearly. But those who do not have an understanding of the self, however much they try, cannot see. Yadadityagadam tejo jagadbhasayate kilam yachandramasi yachagno tattejo vidhi mamakam. The light of the sun and the light of the moon and the light of fire, all their radiance is also from me. Gama vishyacha bhutani Dharayam yahamojasa pushnami choschadhi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Entering into earth, I support all beings with my energy. Becoming the watery moon, I nourish all plant life. Aham vaishvanaro bhutva praninam deham ashritaha pranapanasama pachanyannam chaturvidam. I am the fire of digestion in every living body. I am the breath of life exhaled and inhaled, with which I digest the fourfold food. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattasmritirjnanamapohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me came memory, knowledge, and their laws. I am known by the Vedas indeed, and I am the creator of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Dvavimo purusho loke ksharascha eva cha ksharas sarvani bhutani kutastho kshara uchyate. There are two things, the perishable and the imperishable in this world. There are the living beings who are perishable, while there is the unchangeable, the imperishable. Uttamah purushastvanyah paramatmetyudahridah yo lokatrayamavishya bibhartyavyaya ishvarah. Besides these two, there is the Supreme Purusha, the Lord Himself, who pervades and sustains these three worlds. Yasmaksharamati aksharatapi chottamaha atosmi loke vedecha pratitah purushottamaha. As I am transcendental, beyond both the perishable and the imperishable and the best, I am declared both in the world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person Purushottama. Yo me mama sammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme without a doubt is to be understood as the knower of everything, and he worships me with all his being. O son of Bharata! Iti guhyatamam shastram idam muktam maya nagha etad buddhva buddhiman syat pratagrityascha bharata. This is the most profound teaching taught by me, O sinless one, and whoever knows this will become wise, and his actions will bear fruit. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Purushottama Yogo Nama Panchadashodhyayaha. In the Upanishad of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the scripture of yoga dealing with Brahma Vidya, Yoga Shastra, the science of Brahman, the Supreme Absolute, in the form of the Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. This is the 15th chapter named Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Being. Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We'll now continue the Guru Puja, chanting the Manasa Puja. Om Hridpadmamasanam Dadyat Sahasrarachyutamrutaihi Padyam Charanayor Dadyat Manastu Argyam Nivedayet Tena Amritena Achamaniyam Snaniyam Tena Chasmritam Akashatattvam Vastram Syat Gandhasyat Gandhatatvagam Chittam Prakalpayet Pushpam Dhupam Pranan Prakalpayet Tejastattvam Cha Deepartham Naivedyam Syat Sudham Buddhihi Anahatadhvanirghanta Vayudatvam Cha Chamaram Sahasraram Bhavechatram Shabdhatatvam Cha Geetakam Nrityam Indriya Karmani Chanchalyam Manasastatha Sumekalam Padmamalam Pushpam Nana Vidam Tata Amayadyir Bhava Pushpaihi Archayet Bhava Gocharam Amayam Manahankaram अरागम् ममधं तथा अमोहगम् अदम्बं च अद्वेषाक्षोभगो तथा अमात्सर्यम् अलोभं च तसपुष्पं विदुर्बुधाः अहिंसा परमं पुष्पं पुष्पमिन्द्रियनिग्रहः दया पुष्पं क्षमा पुष्पं ज्ञानपुष्पं च पञ्चमम् इति पञ्चदशैर्भावपुष्पैः सम्पूजयेत् भगवन्तं श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवम्। ॐ ह्रीं एतत्पाद्यं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एषर्घ्यः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदम् आचमनीयं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं स्नानीयं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं वस्त्रं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एषद्गन्धः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं सचन्दनपुष्पं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं सचन्दनबिल्वपत्रं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एषद्धूपः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एषद्दीपः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं क्षोभकर्णनैवेद्यं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं पानार्तोदकं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं पुनराचमनीयं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। आरात्रिकम् ॐ साङ्ग्रह्ण्येस्यायजते इमां जनतागुं सङ्ग्रह्णानीति द्वादशारत्नीरचना भवति। द्वादशमासा संवत्सरः संवत्सरमेवावरुन्धे मौञ्जी भवति। ऊर्ध्वैमुञ्जाः ऊर्जमेवावरुन्धे चित्रा नक्षत्रं भवति। चित्रं वा एतत्कर्म कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। आरात्रिकं समर्पयामि भगवच्छ्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः। पुष्पाञ्जलिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्तकर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मन्नाद श्रीजगन्नाथो मद्गुरुः श्रीजगद्गुरुः ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुराप्नेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। पुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि भगवच्छ्रीनित्यानन्द परमशिवचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः। ॐ नित्यानन्दम्। All the sannyasis of the sovereign order of Kailasa, all the sannyasis of the sovereign order of Kailasa's Nityananda are now requested to distribute and partake the Pinda Prasadam.
परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ
Nityanandam, you will now be chanting the names of those who offered the Guru Dakshina today. Om Mamopatta Samasta Duridakshya Dvara Bhagutshi Nityananda Param Shiva Prityartham Adhya Purokta Evam Gunu Visheshan Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhatito. Gary Olmsted Namadheyasya, Johnny White Namadheyasya, Sakudumbhasya, Bhajya Nam Yaha Sakudumbhasya, Akram Tahir Namadheyasya, Sakudumbhasya, Abd Al Qadir Nam Yaha, Furdus Muhammad Zainal Nam Yaha, Khadja Khorshid Saik Nam Yaha, Mustafa Muhammad Izzat Namadheyasya, Radhya Mustafa Nam Yaha, Ryan Atat Nam Yaha, Skudumbasya, Aisha Jihan Hassan Ismail Nam Yaha, Skudumbasya, Shri Mahasarveshwara Namadheyasya, Kaikun Namadheyasya, Skudumbasya, Chenwang Nam Yaha, Skudumbasya, Nityanand Gotrodhavasya, Kumbharasho Purataj Nakshatra Kumbharasho Jatasya, Yogamalar Nam Yaha, Skudumbasya, Prasanna Sharanappa Kanapur Nam Yaha, Skudumbasya, Teresa Murillo Swati Nakshatra Jatayaha, Teresa Murillo Nam Yaha, Skudumbasya, Juan Cesar Murillo Namadheyasya, Rosa Moreno Nam Yaha, Eileen Murillo Namadheyasya, Skudumbasya, Maria Ortiz Murillo Nam Yaha, Raul Ortiz Namadheyasya, Skudumbasya, Uttar Falguni Nakshatre Jatayaha, Ma Ekapad Shaktini Nam Yaha, Mrigesha Nakshatre Jatasya, Daniel Vargas Namadheyasya, Rohini Nakshatre Jatayaha, Maya Vargas Nam Yaha, Delicia Vargas Nam Yaha, Rodrigo Vargas Namadheyasya, Skudumbasya, Anuradha Nakshatre Jatayaha, Sonia Morales Nam Yaha, Rohini Nakshatre Jatasya, Sergio Morales Namadheyasya, Revati Nakshatre Jatayaha, Josefina Morales Nam Yaha, Chitra Nakshatre Jatasya, Miguel Morales Namadheyasya, Anuradha Nakshatre Jatasya, Moises Namadheyasya, Skudumbasya, Sergio Morales Namadheyasya, Rohini Nakshatre Jatasya, Sergio Morales Namadheyasya, Skudumbasya, चित्रा नक्षत्रे जातस्य हक्तिर्मुरिलो नामधेयस्य स्वाति नक्षत्रे जातायाः तरसा मुरिलो नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य मेरिणी साल्तरली नाम याः रोजेल्ला साल्तरली नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य हिल्दा मुरिलो नाम याः गोंजालो नवारो नामधेयस्य गैब्रियल नवारो नामधेयस्य वियोलेटा नवारो नामधेयस्य इज़ाबेल्ला नवारो नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य मानित्या कालहन्त्रिकानन्दा नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य इवान द्रगोजा नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य चेंग वांग नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य ऑगस्ट पिरोन नामधेयस्य मियर लेशात नामधेयस्य ऑगस्टे पिरोन नामधेयस्य आंद्रे पिरोन नामधेयस्य फर्नांड पिरोन नामधेयस्य हेलेन पिरोन नाम याः लुसिया पिरोन नाम याः मेरी सोरेन नाम याः हेनरियट बसौ नाम याः हेनरियट बोरसौ नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य वोव्लो बर्नडेट नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य लेहोमे लेओन्स नाम अधेयस्य लूस ड्रकोन नाम अधेयस्य एथियन एनरोस नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य रोहिणी नक्षत्रे वृषभराशो जातस्य शरवणन नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य चित्रा नक्षत्रे जातस्य सुविद नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य स्वाति नक्षत्रे तुलाराशो जातायाः शिवगोत्रोद्भवायाः शुभाशिनी नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य आयुट्यं नक्षत्रे मकरराशो जातस्य शिवकुमार नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य सिंहराशो जातायाः केमी नजो नाम याः वृषभराशो जातायाः फ्लोरेंस नजो नाम याः वृषभराशो जातस्य तुंडे नजो नामधेयस्य तुलाराशो जातस्य विक्टर नजो नामधेयस्य मेषराशो जातायाः जनत नजो नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य मूला नक्षत्रे जातस्य धनुराशो जातायाः नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवायाः फोरम लिमये नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य चित्रा नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातायाः प्रेमभक्तिका नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य श्रीनित्यभूतेश्वरानन्दा नामधेयस्य मानित्यभूतेश्वरानन्दा नामधेयाः रुद्रांश नाम अधेयस्य सहा कुटुम्बस्य मार्कण्डेय गोत्रोद्भवस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य योंगझंग होंग नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य मानित्याच्युतमयानन्दा नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य वीरमुत्तु दुरस्वामी नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य हिरमन शो सोहवान नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य खंडेया नामधेयस्य रसम्मा नाम याः सत्कुमन नाम यधेयस्य पद्मनाथन नाम यधेयस्य कुनलन नाम मधेयस्य गोविंदस्वामी नामधेयस्य सुपम्मा नाम याः चंत्रिका नाम याः शांतिजी नाम याः मनियम नाम अधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य माँ आनंद प्रत्यंगिरा नाम याः श्री आनंद आत्मन नामधेयस्य इलाई पदिया नाम अधेयस्य एमा पदिया नाम याः नैचली समनो नाम याः सोफिया लोपेज नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य मैरीन सौट्रॉन इंदोहोमा नाम याः सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानन्दगोत्रोद्भवस्य कृतिका नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातायाः अब्बा नाम याः शाखा नक्षत्रे तुलाराशो जातस्य भविष्या नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानन्दगोत्रोद्भवस्य मूला नक्षत्रे धनुर्राशो जातस्य रविशंकर त्यागराज नामधेयस्य मकरराशो उत्तराधनक्षत्रे मकरराशो जातायाः शांति रविशंकर नाम याः पुनर्पूसं नक्षत्रे मिथुननाशो जातस्य मुरलीमोहनन् शिवशङ्करनामधेयस्य उत्तरं नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातयः ऐश्वर्या रविशङ्करनाम्याः उत्तरं नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातयः परमेश्वरी आरुमुरुगं नामधेयस्य पूसं नक्षत्रे कर्कराशो जातस्य शान्ताकुमारी आरुमुगं नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य पुरटादि नक्षत्रे कुम्भराशो जातस्य पुनितवती नाम्याः उत्तरादि नक्षत्रे मीनराशो जातस्य सुरेन्द्र नामधेयस्य उत्तरां नक्षत्रे धनुराशो जातस्य जलजा नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य माधर्मधरा नाम्याः पुरटादि नक्षत्रे कुम्भराशो जातायाः माधर्मधरा नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य कमिला क्लावर नाम्याः आनन्दपरमेश्वरी नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य औद्गल्यसगोत्रोद्भवस्य अनुराधा नक्षत्रे वृश्चिकराशो जातस्य श्रीनिति सदाशिवात्मानन्दानामधेयस्य चित्रा नक्षत्रे जातायाः मानिति सदाशिवात्मानन्दानाम्याः पूर्वभाद्रपदनक्षत्रे जातायाः त्रिपुरानन्दभैरवीनाम्याः वीरेश्वरमनोहरनामधेयस्य नागसुशीलानाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य रोहिणीनक्षत्रे वृषभराशो जातायाः श्रीमती सुमङ्गलशास्त्रीनाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य सुमङ्गलशास्त्रीनाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानन्दगोत्रोद्भवस्य सीमा कुकरजा नाम्याः भूपेंदर सिंह कुकरजा नामधेयस्य करण सिंह कुकरजा नामधेयस्य तान्या कुकरजा नाम्याः कियारा कुकरजा नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य रोहिणी नक्षत्रे वृषभराशो जातस्य पायडिपालगोत्रोद्भवस्य विष्णुदासन्नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य गाङ्गेयगोत्रोद्भवस्य कृतिका नक्षत्रे मेषराशो जातस्य मुरलीकार्तिकनामधेयस्य रेवती नक्षत्रे मीनराशो जातायाः पद्मावती वडिवेलुनाम्याः उत्तरानक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातायाः सरस्वती वडिवेलुनाम्याः मृगशीर्षा नक्षत्रे जातस्य जानकी रामन् सत्यनाथन्नामधेयस्य आर्द्रा नक्षत्रे मिथुनराशो जातस्य शिवाजानकी रामन्नामधेयस्य सदैव नक्षत्रे कुम्भराशो जातायाः शान्ति नन्दिनी जानकी रामन्नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य पशुपदारि गोत्रोद्भवस्य कोल्तूर् बजरंग नामधेयस्य कोल्तूर् सतीश संतोष नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य तिरुवेन्द्रियार गोत्रोद्भवस्य शाखा नक्षत्रे तुलाराशो जातस्य देवराजन्नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य पुनर्वसु नक्षत्रे जातस्य कर्कटराशो जातस्य श्री आनंद काशीश्वर नामधेयस्य सल्वी नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य तिरुवेन्द्रियार गोत्रोद्भवस्य चित्रा नक्षत्रे तुलाराशो जातस्य राजेश कुमार नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य तोण्डेरय गोत्रोद्भवस्य श्रवण नक्षत्रे मकर राशो जातस्य बीजी रवि नाम्याः कौशिक गोत्रोद्भवस्य शाखा नक्षत्रे तुलाराशो जातस्य चैथली पै नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य हरितस गोत्रोद्भवस्य स्वाति नक्षत्रे तुलाराशो जातस्य स्वाति मुदियुनूर नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य अत्रिगोत्रोद्भवस्य अश्विनी नक्षत्रे मेषराशो जातस्य कुलभूषण सिंह नामधेयस्य मघा नक्षत्रे जातायाः सोनल चौहान नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य आनंद परमेश्वरी नाम्याः माँ परमानंद स्वरूपिणी नाम्याः भगवान हसन अब्दुलै इब्राहिम नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य Dorothy Lavank-नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य मुरे खोल् नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य देवी इदार एलिजबेथ कोन्ले नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य तंगम्मा अलगम्मा नाम्याः चन्तिरसगराम एलियम नक्षत्रे कर्कराशो जातस्य चन्तिरसगराम नामधेयस्य तिरुवाधिरे नक्षत्रे जातस्य चन्तिरकुगम नामधेयस्य पूरटम नक्षत्रे जातस्य सेन्दिरकुमारन् नामधेयस्य चन्द्रिका नाम्याः छिन्नतम्बी नामधेयस्य सतिरे सर नामधेयस्य सिन्नमुत्तु नाम्याः सिन्नम्मा नाम्याः मुत्तुपिल्लै नामधेयस्य सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानन्दगोत्रोद्भवस्य कृतिका नक्षत्रविषुवराशो जातस्य मानित्य जालन्धरस्थितानन्दा नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य लाय्यन् ली नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य हैडी शोयन् नाम्याः सुकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानन्दगोत्रोद्भवस्य डबी श्वेलर् नाम्याः डेव् श्वेलर् नामधेयस्य इजी श्वेलर् नाम्याः हैडी श्वेलर् नाम्याः मोची श्वेलर् नाम्याः शुगर् श्वेलर् नाम्याः रोजी श्वेलर् नामधेयस्य रोलन् कॉप नामधेयस्य कुटुम्बस्य अनीश हरगोविंद लल्लु नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य हासन् नजरला नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य कश्यपगोत्रोद्भवस्य शुभनक्षत्रे जातस्य शर्मी पटेल नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य सांडिल्यगोत्रोद्भवस्य सिताल घोष नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य कश्यपगोत्रोद्भवस्य शुभराशौ शुभनक्षत्रे जातस्य रोहितास्ताना नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य कश्यपगोत्रोद्भवस्य वैद्यनाथ मंडल नामधेयस्य कमला मंडल नाम्याः तुक्कू घोष नामधेयाः नंदलाल उकिल नाम सांडिल्य गोत्रोद्भवस्य नंदलाल उकिल नामधेयस्य राधाकृष्ण उकिल नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य किलुरु वेंकट नरसिंह पेलधिनगोत्रोद्भवस्य किलरु पुल्लय्य नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य पेल्धिनी नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य पियर्पोलि अम्ब्रोजी नामधेयस्य पोतिन् ग्रोरम नामधेयस्य फर्डिनांड ग्रनोट नामधेयस्य यूडेनिस निख्रौ नाम्याः लिडिया बेर्थेलॉट नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य मानित्य एकान्तानन्दा नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य उत्तराषाढा नक्षत्रे मकर राशौ जातायाः वन्दना अग्रवाल गार्गगोत्रोद्भवस्य उत्तराषाढा नक्षत्रे मकर राशौ जातायाः वन्दना अग्रवाल नाम्याः संजय अग्रवाल नामधेयस्य अश्लेषा नक्षत्रे कर्कराशौ जातस्य संजय अग्रवाल नामधेयस्य ज्येष्ठा नक्षत्रे वृश्चिकराशौ जातस्य शौर्य अग्रवाल नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य वरुण लाल नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य लूसी जीन गिलेस रोबिनेट नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य जूलियन रोबिनेट पूर्वभाद्र नक्षत्रे कुम्भराशौ जातस्य जूलियन रोबिनेट नामधेयस्य होनायस साइमन नामधेयस्य जेरोम जीन गिलेस जूनियर नामधेयस्य अमोस जीन गिलेस नामधेयस्य रेबेका जीन गिलेस नाम्याः मरिया सांटिडे ओरालोस नामधेयस्य जेरोम पोंटनी नामधेयस्य अनवे जीन गिलेस नामधेयस्य एवेंजलिन जीन गिलेस नाम्याः मरनौशा जीन गिलेस नाम्याः एस्टेला निकोलाइस नामधेयस्य जीन मैरी साइमन नाम्याः सोनिया साइमन नाम्याः जीन मैरी साइमन नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य मा निराधारी नाम्याः एडमी ग्रेनोट नाम्याः एडलिन ग्रेनोट नाम्याः जेन क्रियंटोर नाम्याः जयान क्रियंटोर नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य वैलेंटीना Sukhomlinova namyaha, Leonid Sukhomlinova namadheyasya, Vladimir Sukhomlinov namadheyasya, Olga Vitvitskaye namadheyasya, Viktor Vitvitsky namadheyasya sakudumbasya, Pavan Patel namadheyasya sakudumbasya, सकुटुम्बस्य च मनसेप्सित सकल सदभीष्ट काम्यार्थ सिद्ध्यर्थम ज्ञान वैराग्य जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थम श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूप भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव गुरुदक्षिणा महम संप्रददे। हरि ओम दत्सत्। सर्वं भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु। ओम नित्यानंदम। Thank you for joining the Maheshwara Puja.